Very interesting sight. As I'm walking to Damien's forest, I had to take a couple of steps back and take you on the walk with me this morning. Here, next to the pathway, mushrooms. I'll see if I can identify them and put them in the description. We don't see them often in Namibia, the mushrooms popping up. Very, very rarely actually. And here they are. I think this, there's some more here. Now you can see there's some horse manure being added to this pathway. And so I think, just need to double check, there's a specific mushroom that grows that gets transferred in the stomachs of horses. The spores live there and they grow in horse manure. And it's not edible, but we have in the past added some horse manure here, and then obviously because the horses walk here every day, they also leave their droppings here. And I have a feeling that this is that manure. You can still see there's a little bit of water. The moisture level in the ground now is just unbelievable, something out of this world. Somebody said I should try and identify the bird sounds when I'm busy with my less dramatic parts of the channel. And if I had a better camera, I would be able to show you that as well. Turn into a real wildlife photographer. All of that can happen one day when I'm big. See, the duckies are out working. Lucas is here. I'm quickly going to speak to him and then I'll give you an update on that as well. Okay, then Vanessa is also looking at some flowers. Thanks to Naomi Ras that sent her some coffees so she can get involved in purchasing something nice for the garden. So that's what we're doing this morning. So I brought her and Emanual to the shopping mall, shopping center, Spar, and they are then looking at what it is that they would like next in their own garden. So last week Beshy sent some money to buy 2 of these plastic containers and give them to Emanual to use as a water saving drum while we're fixing his tank. Now fixing his tank is a problem because every now and then it rains and then we have to wait for the tank to dry before we can work on it, and we also don't want to waste the rain. So today we're just buying one simply because I still want to give Vanessa a place to sit while she's driving with me, and we don't have enough space in my little car for 2 of these, so I'll buy another one next week when I go out there again. But the other thing that I wanted to speak to you about is Mekon sent me some money to buy containers to grow full trees, and I'm wondering whether we shouldn't cut these ones in half and then grow in a greenhouse and in a controlled environment fruit trees until they are big, so that when we go onto a system that it is already big trees. Now obviously if you buy really big bags you can do that as well, but these ones will last forever. And they are a bit more expensive, but they will last forever. So I'm thinking of buying 2 of those, cutting them, and then we'll be able to grow 4 trees for the next 3 years, say for instance, so that when I go do a project I already put in there big trees and it's already done. It's not a, small trees like we're planting currently and you have to wait 3 or 4 years for something to happen. I'd like to hear your comments on that. Okay, so we just arrived at Emanuel's house, but before I show you his garden I quickly want to tell you Dunedainmom, I'm struggling to pronounce her name, the lady that Lucas found yesterday next to the fence. I actually broke one of YouTube's golden rules, and that is to not discuss open wounds. You discuss scars, but you don't discuss an open wound, because you don't know, first of all, what's going to happen, you haven't dealt with it yourself, and now you're discussing it with people across the world. That's why the rule exists. You don't discuss open wounds on YouTube. Now, obviously, I did discuss it, and I don't know what's going to happen. I have no idea how to handle it. I don't know how I will handle it, etc. So, just to give you an update, she was supposed to come to the farm this morning. Last night they got hold of her family. Lucas helped her get hold of her family. They made other suggestions. There's a big chance that she's going to go back to them. So she's got choices to make. And we will just see how we can support her in doing whatever feels right to her. Whether it's giving her work and then she starts working with us. Whether it's going back to her family. As far as we know, as far as we can help, we'll help. But obviously we've never been in a situation like that. Somebody asked whether it is common in Namibia. I don't know. I grow up in a world, and the more I get exposed to the other side of the world, the more I know that I don't know. I don't know how common it is. I know abusing women is very common. I don't know how often this kind of thing happens where people are mistreated like that in order to do physical labor. This is the first time that I found something, and it just so happens that it's twice in 1 week that I can sort of qualify as modern day slavery, but I don't know how common it is. Right, let's get to Emanuel's house. So the lecunas growing in the back are doing wonderfully. Now, he had some rain. When was the last time you had rain, Emanuel?
Yesterday.
Yesterday, you had some rain yesterday. And you can see here on the tracks, the water came running in here from the neighbor's land all the way basically from here. And all of this water then ran over here, and then from here it split it some into that neighbor's land there, and then a little bit of it came back into his land where it ran around the corner that way and out of the street. So that is another water source that we thinking of harvesting. He said this tank filled up completely. Now it's only about halfway now, so it's leaking very badly. We are going to wait for the rain to stop before we attempt to dry it out. The reason for that is that half a tank of water is still a lot of water, and we will use that instead of just running it out and drying it. We will use that water as much as possible. The other reason is the water sinks down into the soil now. You can see there's a constant wet spot around the tank. That in turn in the next year will water that tree. In the next 2 years this tree's roots should get there as well and get into that water bubble, as I like to call it. The seeds that Vanessa has this picked today will be planted here and here. Okay, let me show you the front garden quickly. Just walking around. Front garden, he planted beans and butternuts between the corn to try and get the Three Sisters effect. Just some of the butternuts came up. None of the beans came up. It's interesting, I also had bad luck with the same beans. I don't know whether the seeds that we bought is maybe because we bought it from the grocery shelf, whether there's something maybe sprayed on it to not let it grow or what. His trees are doing great. His guava is doing fantastic. Citrus is doing great. Prickly pear is doing great. There was something that this mango tree. I have big problems with mango trees on the plot where they just discolor and die, sort of, or they don't die yet, but it looks like they want to die. His mango tree seems to be doing much better. I'm very glad for him. His spinach is now growing up fast. He transplanted quite a lot to this garden over here. He worked the mulch into the garden of the spit fork that was given to him by our supporters. But you can see here he planted the spinach. Great. This pumpkin is doing a great job as being a ground cover. The moringa, since the last time we were here, put on quite a bit of new leaves as well. It's so cool to think that this moringa tree here is less than a year old. So that's something wonderful. What else is there? What's interesting here is how much better this marula is doing than that marula. You can see water in the pits there. Lucas, what is this? Emanual, what is this on this side?
It's also spinach.
Also spinach. So you'll be eating spinach until it comes out of your ears. Plenty and plenty of spinach. Is that a wonderboom over there?
What?
Lukina. This one here.
Oh yeah, this one, yeah, these are two wonderful.
Did you plant them intentionally or did they come with from the compost? Okay. I think we can grow them, and then if they get your size we chop them off.
Then you can transplant them.
Transplant them or chop them.
Then that is growing, can you see?
I can see it was here the other day. I'm looking for the fig right on top here because now it's all the way down there. So this tree is growing much better than the trees on the farm. Your garden is growing better than our trees. Your trees are growing better than our trees. Why is that?
I don't know.
Huh?
I don't know.
This is wonderful. I mean, I have fig trees, but they definitely don't look like this. Even my mulberries don't look like this. My marulas don't grow like this. Nothing on the plot grows like your things. So somewhere you're doing something right. I'm very happy.
Like this water you see in this one.
So just say that again.
This water
Yeah? It came from that system there. So maybe it's the amount of water that you get that's going into the ground that's causing these things to grow. Yeah, so this thing filled up completely yesterday and then ran out and filled up that whole day. Yeah, that is nice. Okay, I think that's going to be the end of my story for today. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you very much for subscribing and liking. I think we are making progress. Have a wonderful day.